Accessible and reliable broadband networks are now, more than ever, critical in our daily lives. Yet too many households across the state can't access broadband because it's not available where they live. Not available where they live. Not available where they live.
Senator Dodd, is anyone asking the question as to why it's not available where they live? Why is high-speed broadband not available where these people live? Could it be the digital redlining that the incumbent providers executed and exacted in our communities? Could it be the greed? Could it be the lack of oversight on the regulators' part, the California Public Utilities Commissions, where they were collecting fees with the intent of supposedly upgrading every single household in California with high-speed fiber optic connectivity, and instead took those monies and did other investments, took those monies and did not deliver on what they were obligated to deliver on. We would not be in the digital divide had there been just the slightest sense of oversight coming from the California Public Utilities Commission.
Low-income communities, rural populations, and working families who lack broadband risk falling further behind, further behind, further behind. As learning has shifted online, students may struggle to keep up. Adults in communities without internet access may not be able to search and apply for jobs. Working remotely, start businesses, or access education, social, and other resources needed to thrive in the digital economy. SB 556 will address those needs by conforming California law with the 2018 FCC federal regulation in order to expand 5G deployment and also to contribute to closing the digital divide.
And so compliance with the FCC regulatory agency's orders does not by any stretch of the imagination look to address the digital divide. Plus, we want to get into the historical aspect of, why are these families not connected? Is some oversight on the city's part, the city's fault that these individuals in certain areas simply do not have access, as Senator Dodd had stated? Who's at fault? Well, we know that answer already. We know the telecommunication industry actually digitally redlined certain neighborhoods, certain areas. This is according to a USC report by Dr. Galperin that was funded by the Annenberg Foundation.
And the problem that we have today is that numerous cities across California continue to resist, continue to not comply with the FCC decision. And so we're seeing widespread delays and red tape in the deployment of 5G, which is exacerbating the problem of the digital divide.
Mr. Reyes, aka Igor from the Young Frankenstein movie, erroneously presumes that the digital divide is one-dimensional, when in fact the digital divide is multifaceted with many attributes stemming from language, content, training, household income, number of people in that household, the types of devices that the family is accustomed to utilizing, cell phones, laptops, desktops, iPads, apartment buildings, houses, concrete walls, giant trees. There are so many facets to the digital divide, which is comical because he represents the Senate's expert on this very issue and should not be speaking about the digital divide in this manner, lacking in knowledge the way that he does.
Okay, and I know this question may be a little out there, especially on this floor, but you're not purposely putting this bill forward so that people can be spied on, correct?
So that could be what?
There was a lot of accusations about, in the opposition, that this bill will further allow government to spy on them. That's not true. I couldn't see any of that in this bill. You're not doing that. That's not your intent.
No, that has absolutely nothing to do with the intent of this bill.
So by definition, Senator Dodd is absolutely correct because spying is done in secret. However, during his testimony regarding this particular bill, he asked that we catch up with China. I asked my Chinese immigrant friend, Kathy Zhang, who's a radio host and podcaster in San Francisco, about what she thought regarding the ridiculous notion that we need to catch up with China, as if we need massive human rights violations, as if we need complete extinction of our privacy rights here in the United States. 5G deployment in China has greatly enhanced the government's ability to track their citizens' every move. I mean, just listen to what Mary Hollins has to say, the General Counsel for Children's Health Defense, and elaborates on the 5G advantage.
And that already exists in China. So in 2014, China started a social credit scoring system, and it's now in full bloom. And that is everything you do. There are 600 million cameras everywhere in the country. They use facial recognition. They know what each person is doing all the time. And if you hang out with the wrong people, if you go to the wrong club, if you show up at a demonstration that you shouldn't be at, if you're not, working well in your job, if you jaywalk, you are going to have either points added or points demoted. And those things are going to be to affect your privileges. Can you get on the train? Can you buy an airplane ticket? Can you visit France? That's what already exists, Patrick. And that seems to be the model of corporations here like Salesforce and Microsoft that are developing some of these platforms.
So the most damning testimony in this entire hearing comes next from the quote unquote resident expert within the Senate. One, it's revealed that he's actually the industry and is given extreme deference to throughout this entire hearing to say what he wants to say about what he wants to say. And he's treated as though he's the resident Senate expert. I termed him and coined him Igor from the Young Frankenstein movie. But he goes on to say that they're not regulated in pricing. And hear it well.
Private investment in the wireless industry, we have customers and shareholders. We're not rate regulated by the commission. We're not rate regulated by the commission. We're not rate regulated by the commission.
This is undoubtedly infrastructure. It's infrastructure that is so critical for the 21st century. This is going to determine our competitiveness as an economy.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, what's missing here is that 5G is inferior technology. Wireless technology is inferior on many levels. If determination relative to our competitiveness is at issue, then we should be talking fiber optics. We should be talking fiber to the premises. There should be no other discussion around any other issue. This does not in any stretch of the imagination represent our competitiveness. It's hilarious. So a majority of our senators have been bamboozled on this bill and have made it clear of the bamboozleistic rhetoric that has been submitted as testimony in support of these bills. It's made evident that they have no idea what they're talking about. And it's unfortunate that this can happen to a legislative body like the state Senate that, I'm not really sure what the motivations are. I would imagine it has a lot to do with the money in the telecom industry's cash that they have. That's my guess. I have no evidence to that effect. But what we do have evidence on is the bamboozleness rhetoric that surrounds why one would support this bill. First and foremost, I think the biggest issue is the facade that it's going to close the digital divide, which we've already articulated well in this video. There are many facets, there are many attributes to the digital divide. Primary to that are pricing issues, price of service. They're not addressed by the incumbent providers, and they're definitely not being looked at the regulatory agencies within the California Public Utilities Commission. And so the fact that this bill does not address those two key issues, really the integrity behind desire to close the digital divide addressing its biggest barrier, its most clear barrier. Um, there's the integrity of that claim it wilts like a blade of grass in 110-degree weather. The other thing about the competitiveness that they had stated relative to 5G, I mean, did not any of those senators that voted for it know that 5G is like third place? So when you compare it to cable television or fiber optic connectivity, 5G is third place just on speed alone. We don't even need to get into the security issues. We don't need to get into the energy issues. And we don't even need to talk about the health issues. It's just third place. And our senators are talking about this, that it is going to be the golden rod, our competitiveness. It is comical.